Is the American dream dead? Well, in this video, we're going to go over some things that are pretty disturbing and some things that are pretty hopeful. But before we get into anything, I want to play a clip for you to explain the mindset of some people on where we're at right now.
The American dream does not exist. The only reason it existed before was because the US empire was at the peak of its imperialist power. Its control over the rest of the world was absolute, and by causing horrific suffering around the world, the US could provide luxuries for its citizens. Today, that control is slipping.
The capitalist wants to extract the greatest possible profits from their workers, and the workers want to be paid as much as possible for their labor. These two goals cannot be reconciled, and so there will always be conflict. The problem in hyper-capitalist countries like the United States is that the capitalist class has near complete control. They've destroyed unions, gutted labor protections, bought favorable legislation to make those practices easier, and are now able to make things worse and worse for the average person.
That's why you can't afford a home, or groceries, or a car. That's why you don't have any benefits. That's why every new job created is gig work. It's not because you're unlucky, or the country is just going through a rough spot, or the wrong person is in the Oval Office. This is how capitalism works. It will always be how it works, and it's why you will never be able to afford the American.
It's kind of disheartening to see that this is the mindset of the American people today. It's disheartening to see that this is where we're at. The world our parents grew up in is gone. It's long gone.
How did the American dream die? How did the middle class die? I'm going to tell you, it started in the 1980s with trickle-down economics that did not work. They decided to give tax cuts to the rich and corporations, saying that money would trickle down. It didn't. It just made the rich richer. Then we greenlit stock buyback. So instead of, when the productivity was going up, instead of giving workers more money, they just bought back their stocks so that the shareholders could make profit and the executives could get bonuses. Then we had leverage buyouts, and the government didn't regulate leverage buyouts, and that was the start of private equity basically buying up everything so that they could make more money. Then we moved away from pensions to 401ks, which essentially just took the responsibility and accountability of the company to take care of their workers with the retirement and put it on to individuals, but we were never taught economics in high school, so how the fuck are we supposed to know about compound interest and investing? But they may said the 401k was better than the pension when it wasn't. Then they started shipping our jobs overseas, building the middle class of other countries so that they could make more profit, destroying the middle class here. Then we started ramping up the borrowing money and getting into debt as a country, which devalues our dollar. And then in 2008, we had predatory lending, which crashed the housing market, fucked over so many Americans. And then we used taxpayer money to bail out the banks. And when all the houses were cheap, the rich went and bought those up. And that's when you started to see the rent start to increase around the 2010s into the 2015s. And then in 2011, we allowed super PACs to exist. So billionaires can now buy elections, and they use that money on attack ads, which divides the country. Divide and conquer, and that's what they did. In 2020, we had the pandemic, which both sides of the aisle handled like absolute shit, shut down all small businesses, all the money went to the top, the rich got richer, they printed trillions of dollars more, which people needed, but what did all the people do? We spent the money because we needed to spend the money, and where did that money go? To the top, and they got richer. And lastly, they decided during the pandemic, let's lower the interest rates on buying a home to 2.5% to 3% so that people could refinance and get ahead. But no, all that really did was give the green light to a bunch of rich people to basically borrow free money and buy up all the fucking housing so that we can no longer own a home. And that all ended in 2021. Then we've experienced 25% inflation since the pandemic. And here we are in 2025, and we no longer have a middle class, and the American dream is dead. How did the American...
That I agree with from this gentleman here is that we were not taught correct economics in school. We were not taught how to invest. We were not taught how to be financially smart with our money. And that is unfortunate. So I was laid off during the pandemic, and I did get the pandemic unemployment benefit, and that was quite a substantial amount of money. I think it was somewhere between $700 and $900 a week. And if I could have that money right now, the things that I would have done with that money would have been completely different than what I did with it then. For one, my mindset was different back then. I didn't respect money. I didn't have any plan or any goal for my future, and I was not looking for a way to build wealth and build retirement. So I blew the money just like most everybody did at that time. And that's unfortunate because here I am at 42, and I'm trying to make up for a lot of lost time. I'm trying to get my retirement together. I'm trying to build financial freedom for my family. And I think that starts with understanding where we are at in this American economy. Let's check out this kid's sentiment right here.
Can somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live?
Explain it.
I do not want to hear the pull yourself up from your bootstraps, work 90 hours a week. That's not the goal, guys.
No, it's not the goal.
That should not be our standard.
Agreed. Should not be our standard.
Fucking tired of people being complacent with this uniparty, both of them fucking us over. When my parents were my age, they both made less than half of what I make, and they lived alone. I cannot afford to live anywhere alone. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. 2-bedroom apartment.
This generation is locked out of living on their own.
Who the fuck can afford that? It is embarrassing to come out and say that it is a struggle to survive right now. But
I'm sorry, dude. I feel for you.
Many people are struggling. And do not get me started on what my grandparents were doing. They $3,000 house. And yes, I understand inflation and all of the bullshit that they have been pulling with the Fed. Why are we allowing it?
Why are we allowing it?
And then I clock out of my shift. I am
big one coming up here
to go home, and I check the news. Another 60 fucking billion to a country nobody can put out on a map. What are we doing?
So this young man's anger is very valid. His stance on his economic situation is very valid. And trust me, I don't think that there's anything such as a one income home anymore unless you are a very high income earner, $500,000 to maybe $1 million, and you can take care of maybe a family of 4, all of their needs, college, cars, insurance. I mean, health insurance is crazy right now. But in order to be able to take care of a family of 4, and to supply all the needs for vacations down to braces, it takes a high income earner. And in order to come together on anything nowadays, you need to be a married couple, both of you guys working, both of you guys getting health insurance to be scraping by. But here's the other end of the spectrum here. Check this out.
What is the American dream, and is it still alive today?
Despite what everybody tells you, I think the American dream is more alive than ever. But I think we defined it wrong. It's not that you are owed something. The American dream is that you have the ability to the highest level of your capability to achieve, and that no foot stands upon your neck in your pursuit of progress. And that, to me, is the American dream.
That is the American dream. If you want to put in the work to live a certain type of lifestyle or live a certain way, it's available for people to do.
So I think if you can get addicted to winning, then you get addicted to the game, then you get addicted to be invested in the game, and then you just search out better and better games and more competitive games until you hit the top of the food chain.
Dude, hell yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Addicted to winning the game and get addicted to better and better games. She said no one owes us anything, and we are entitled to success through climbing our way up. No one is stepping on our necks. What do you guys think about that?
I think the American dream is alive and well. I think we see evidence of it every day. But to be honest, to be real, there are a lot of young people who think America's best days are behind us.
I mean, I'd like to address it from Gen Z, because I think that the one thing I don't want to see is people go and criticize Gen Z for feeling that way.
I agree.
They've been through a lot. My son, high school senior year, COVID hits. Missed his prom, missed his graduation, all of that. Then they go and they look at the fact rent is high. They don't ever think they're going to own a home, and they don't think they're going to live as good of a life as their parents did. That's a lack of hope. And all they know is what they see on YouTube and social media. They can scroll and everybody's life is better than theirs. What we have to do is give them hope. And that's where you can go forward on how do you capture the American dream.
So I 100% agree with her. We do need hope. We definitely need hope. And in order for us to look forward to the future with any sort of hope, we need a different mindset. Let me tell you this. If you're comparing your life to everyone else on social media, whose highlight reels are just them winning, taking vacations, driving fast cars, showing off the bust down watches, I mean, you're never going to be happy when you are living paycheck to paycheck, constantly in debt, don't see a way out. So the last thing you need to do is compare yourself to somebody else's life. What you can do is change your mindset and figure out how to best educate yourself on financial freedom and what it takes to get there. Check this out.
I want your insight on how I should start with long-term investing as a 21-year-old with no debt, no credit, and about $40,000 in savings.
Way to go.
Yeah.
What a great head start.
Thank you.
You're obviously very smart. How did you learn all this?
Well, Dave, I have fantastic parents who are huge fans of yours. I think I've been listening to you since my drive back from kindergarten. So,
You're a financial peace baby. Okay, I love it. That's awesome.
Yes.
Way to go. Wow.
Yeah, I wish more people would pay attention to these calls. Fast forward, she starts investing 15% right now. She hits millionaire status at what age, roughly?
34.
Yeah.
Yeah, she have a net worth of $1 million, probably in about 14 years.
By the way, the American dream is alive and well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a Gen Z.
That's right.
By the way.
Yeah.
For those of you that are Gen Zs and think that, oh, it's all over. It can't happen. Oh, no. You know, oh, God, all the whining that's out there. It's just
that's great.
The drama.
That's a clip from Dave Ramsey right there. And I know that this young lady's circumstances are way better than what most of us are starting out with. Most of us don't have a couple of 20, 40,000 to start investing with, but this young lady does. But that does not mean that there is not hope for you. What you can do is start small. There's no reason why you can't take a few dollars every week out of your paycheck and put it into some sort of high yield dividend stock. Let that money compound over time and start gaining some traction. Developing financial literacy isn't easy, but the language is meant to keep you dumb. It's intimidating and it keeps you from wanting to dive deeper into it. And in essence, it keeps you in slavery. All you have to do is educate yourself on terminology, on what's being said, the language of investing, the language of the monetary system and policies, the language of economics, and understand a little bit better about what's going on so that you can make a more educated decision for your future. And all it takes is some action. And the only one that can do that is you. You have to change your mindset about taking action because the world is going to smother you if you don't. The American dream is not dead. Even though you may feel very hopeless right now in today's society with all of the news that's all bad, I mean, everything you see on the news is designed to cultivate fear in you. Everything's designed to keep you small-minded and afraid to take a step towards anything better than what you already have right now. And it's designed to keep you to struggle through it. So instead of flourishing, all you do is just struggle and just try to make it each day. Now, another thing is, if you don't have any faith, then you're going to struggle anyway. Finding Jesus was the best thing that ever happened to me, and it completely radically saved my life because before Jesus, I was broke, I was homeless, I was on drugs, I made very poor decisions for myself, I made very poor decisions for my life because 1, I did not respect myself, for 2, I didn't love myself, 3, I didn't trust myself. And the reasons why any of these things happened was because I continued to use drugs because I wasn't secure in myself. I didn't feel like a man. I didn't provide any value to society. I didn't mentor anybody. I wasn't a man worthy of following. And all of these things kept compounding to be the reasons that I kept being a piece of crap. So I continued to use drugs because I didn't feel worthy of anything else but the drugs. And I stayed stuck in a cycle of victim mentality. And until I found the Lord and realized that I have worth, I never decided to pull myself up out of that. And with the Lord's help and the Holy Spirit and Jesus, I have come to be fully repentant, on fire for God. And now I'm a Christian man and I work in a ministry that helps serve men with life-controlling issues. And because of that, my family is well taken care of. We live in a 3-bedroom house paid for by my job, and we are able to put money into the market and invest, and we're able to gain traction on all the time that we lost. And I'm not saying that my story is better than anyone else's story or it's worse than anyone's story. All I'm saying is that you can change your circumstances at any given moment. All you have to do is change the way you think about life and do something about it. For me, that change came through Jesus, and I'm so glad that it did because I couldn't do it without him. But what are your takes on the American dream? What are your takes on the American economy right now? And where do you think we're headed? What are you doing to get yourself out of the hole that you're in? And if you're not doing anything, why aren't you? So that's going to do it for this episode of The American Condition. Catch me on the next one, guys. Until then, God bless.